Hey guys, so today we're continuing on with trig ratios. So same thing from yesterday. We're just going to apply it to actually solve for missing sides today, okay? So my kids, this needs to go in on page 8. I know it's on the same worksheet as yesterday, but label it page 8 in your table of contents. And we're working on finding a missing side with a trig ratio, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing today. So with trigonometry, Lord Jesus, with trigonometry, you only need to know one side and one angle other than the right angle. The right angle doesn't count, okay? In order to find the missing sides in a right triangle. So decide how the given side and given angle relates to the missing side. Then you're going to set up an equation using the appropriate ratio. Okay? All right, and then we're not really going to worry about this because that's not super duper important. So just one more time, I want to review our steps from yesterday, and then we're going to go straight into examples, okay? So step 1, you're going to find your given angle and use it to name the given sides. All right, because remember, it's important to know what sides we're given or what sides we're using so that we know what trig function to use, okay? So then that leads us right into step 2. Determine which trig function you should use. And then step 3, we're going to use that trig rule to write an equation and solve for x. Okay? So I want you to write those steps down. Step 1, we're going to use the angle they gave us to name the sides of the triangle. That way we know what trig function we should use to find x. Okay? And then we're going to use that trig rule to write the equation and solve for x. All right? So pause that if you need to. Make sure you have those down. I wrote up here at the top, our sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent, just so you guys can remember and it can help you. One more time. Some old hippie is sine. Caught another hippie is cosine. Tripping on acid is tangent. Okay? All right, so that's it for the notes. The big thing about these is you really need to watch the examples and make sure you understand these 3 steps, okay? So let's go ahead and start with example A. I'm going to zoom it in so y'all can see really well. All right, and it says find the missing side x for each given triangle, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so before we do this, because you know my ADHD is for real crazy today, I skipped right over this and it's in orange. Don't know how I missed it, and bold. Okay, we're going to be using Desmos to find these trig functions. So in Desmos, make sure settings are clicked on degree. And let me show you guys what that means really quick. So in Math 2 and in part of Math 3, we measure angles only in degrees, all right? And you guys know that we've been using degrees in Math 2. And I don't have it situated, so this is going to be a hot mess for a second. Let me pull up Desmos. There we go. Y'all get to see how slow my internet is. I was unprepared. I'm very upset with myself, but it's okay. There we go. All right, and when you click on Desmos, I'll have to move it over here so you can see. This top button says Graph Settings. Click on that for me. And then if you look at mine is in radians from pre-cal, and yours might be in radians as well because I think it defaults to radians. You need to click on degrees to make sure it's in degree mode, okay? All right, so then let me just show you on Desmos before we move to our examples. When you click on the keypad, if you go over to functions and click on that, then the first thing that pops up is trig functions. So we're going to be using sine, cosine, and tangent here in Desmos, okay? All right.